A very good evening to all. I'm Professor Soumya M. from the team GIBS Business School, Bangalore. Today, we are virtually connected as a part of GIBS Light of Knowledge webinar series. Today's topic is the future of CX customer experience. I welcome all the participants to this webinar on behalf of GIBS family. Please allow me to talk a few words about GIBS Business School before we begin. Global Institute of Business Studies is a place where talents are nurtured, ambitions cherished, ideas shared, and dreams fulfilled. GIBS Business School is a part of Goel Education Trust, which is an exclusive business school based in Bangalore, Karnataka. GIBS Business School provides an AICTE approved PGDM program and BBA from Bangalore University. To prepare its students for success, GIBS introduced a number of unique programs like innovation, research and entrepreneurship program, finishing school and business mastery program, etc. Since our inception, we have an excellent placement track record. Our students have been determined to be industry ready by the majority of the biggest corporations. Throughout the course, we ensure that there is a proper balance of practical and theoretical knowledge. In 2021, GIBS has ranked AAA by Career 360, 11th Emerging B School by Times of India, 19th Best B School of Eminence in India, 12th Best B School in Karnataka by Competitive Success Review, GIBS feathered by Forbes India as a New Age B School and Best Emerging B School by Outlook 2022. GIBS has introduced a series of free national and international level webinars, leadership top series, and panel discussions on trending topics called GIBS Spreading the Light of Knowledge. I would like to extend a warm greetings to Mr. J.P. Sahu, GIBS faculty, CEO, co-founder of Lighthouse Partners, the resource person of today's webinar. Sir, we are grateful that you accepted our invitation to participate in this webinar as a keynote speaker. Sir, it's my pleasure to have you. Today, the webinar topic is the future of CX, customer experience. It's my honor to introduce Mr. J.P. Sahu to this distinguished audience. Mr. Jyoti Prakash Sahu, Senior Executive, Leader, Pioneer and Strategist with 28 years of experience across diverse industries including food and beverages, alcohol, FMCG and technology. Worked with Hindustan Unilever Limited, PepsiCo International, Gillette India, Britannia, Pernod Ricard India, etc. He has played a numerous key roles such as sales leader, sales trainer, GTM expert, sales coach, curator of success sales team, sales promotion with Salesforce automation buff, sales automation with Chuzo, and CRM doyen, key account management expert and channel management specialist, champion of sustainable practices. Mr. J.P. Sahu is expertise in providing service and solutions on business development, advisory and consulting, go-to-market strategy and execution, business development coaching and training, business development planning and strategy, business development execution, brand promotions and activations. This is a short profile of our resource person. I request all the participants to post your question and doubts in Q&A session. Will be taken up at the end of the session. So JP Sahu sir, over to you, sir.
Thank you so much. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are.
Thank you so much for those kind words. I think without much further ado, I'll just share the screen and the presentation as well. Just let me know whether you're able to see the screen.
Yes, sir, we are.
Is it now on screen share mode? Yeah.
Yes, sir, it is.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's absolute pleasure to be part of this wonderful knowledge sharing session. And as much as I'm excited to speak about customer experience, I am more excited to be speaking to this wonderful, wonderful audience. I think time has come for everybody, the world around, to understand, acknowledge the importance of customer experience and the role it plays in building organizations, if not getting loyalty with our customers. We will get into more into what exactly customer experience is and how it helps organizations. But to give you a perspective of what customer experience is the sum total of all interactions that any customer or any consumer will have with the brand, either directly or indirectly. So with that premise, let us go. But let's first understand a little bit about what experience is all about. I think if you go back in history, as early as 1993, this was a time when a gentleman called Mr. Joe Pine, he is the author of Experience Economy. He's also the author of Mass Customization and various other books. And this gentleman was teaching and talking about mass customization to a very bright group of consultants, and they were from IBM Consulting Group, that time considered to be one of the most pioneering consulting institutions in the world. And he was talking in 1993 about what mass customization is. And this is exactly a gist of what he was trying to say. And if you actually read this, it says very clearly that mass customization of goods specifically is making an individually customized physical product with low costs, high volume, efficient operations. If you do all this, automatically it turns into a service. Now that's a little bit, you can say, heavy to understand. So let me give you an example. Let me give you an example of how this is possible. Imagine going to a mall. Imagine going to a Forum Mall or Ambience Mall or a big mall where there's so many showrooms. You have H&M, you have a Zara, you have a Shoppers Stop, and you go inside to buy a product. There are many varieties, there are many variants. You pick your own size, depending upon the size that matches closely to you. You like it, you buy it and move on. But, for example, you wanted something specific. You like everything, but some parts of the fabric or some parts of the design you don't like. So you move out. And then you move out of these shops, which actually talk about fast fashion or sell fast fashion. You move to another shop, which is nearby. And that shop is, for example, Raymond's Made to Measure. They are also selling clothes. They, in all probability, will be selling the same fabric as well. But the question is, when you go inside, they will take your measurement. They will customize it to your actual specifications that you require. They are giving you a goods, which is similar to fast fashion of Zara and H&M, but they're customizing it. And that is a service. I hope you're now able to understand why automatically a mass customization of goods is turned into a service. Now, but what about mass customization of services? So if mass customization of goods is a service, what about the mass customization of services? You know, amongst those intelligent consultants who were there, somebody raised his hand and asked, what exactly is service? And what exactly is mass customization service? That's when Joe Pine answered, saying mass customization of services automatically turns it into an experience. So that was where the first, probably the explanation of what experiences came about. Remember the gentleman, Joe Pine. I will refer back to him at the end of my slides, and I will give you a very important reason why. And that's exactly where he went on to write. If you look at Harvard Business Review, you will find books and a lot of articles full of experience economy about what mass customization is, and all written by Joe Pine, a very established and accomplished author. Moving on, let's move to what exactly is an experience economy. Okay, so here, let's talk about an example again. Okay, so here you see that progression of economic value starts from here. I'm sure you'll be able to see. If not, I'll just get my highlighter. Yeah, so this is where we are here. We are in a place where there is mass customization of options. Now, okay, here. So imagine, let's talk about food. Imagine there is your grandmother who's making sambar for you, or your mom who's making cakes for you, right? Now here is the cake where, or here's the sambar, and apparently I'm not sure how many masalas are inside a sambar, maybe 2 dozen. But the question is, you extract the commodities, you extract the masalas, you extract for the cake, you get sugar, flour, and try to make it. And that's where the handmade products are made. And then you know that you make the goods. It is undifferentiated. And the pricing, obviously, because you buy those commodities from the market, it is much lesser. You move on, and then for paucity of time or for whatever reason, you forgot how to make sambars, or it is very cumbersome to make sambars. So what came after that was goods, where you had sambar masalas even named as archi masala, which actually means grandmother or mother. And you had cakes which were ready made, or you had Betty Crocker who made cake mixes, which helps you get those cake mixes in a jiffy. So the question is, you move from commodities to goods, and then you move to the generation which is now, where you have a Zomato or a Swiggy, where you just click off an app, you order those services. And obviously, the unfortunate part is obviously you can't have that experience of making it at home or serving it hot at home. So what do? You go to restaurants, you go to hotels, 5-star hotels especially. And I'm sure you remember the last time you went to a hotel or a 5-star hotel where the person was making a pizza and he made it according to the specification you asked for. I want extra cheese. I want this extra. I want that extra. And he made it for you. And it was delivered fresh to you. Mass customized. You remember that experience. And that experience you remember for a long, long time. And this is exactly what I was trying to explain to you and talk about. Consumers value experience more than the goods and services. And it is imperative for each and every organization to stay relevant. But how do you stay relevant? Unless you engage with customers, unless you ensure that you interact, they interact with you and empathize and relate to you. You know, today's generation, today's Gen Zs and millennials, if they don't relate to the brand, they will not endorse you. They will not buy your product. They will not use your service. So how do you ensure that they relate to your brand? They will engage with your brand. So that's exactly what HBR also talks about. Says that experience are the untapped means to differentiate. This is an opportunity where organizations can use to differentiate their product. Let's get into another realm. The other realm of experience, a bit heavy slide, don't worry about it. Each organization's aspiration is to be in the sweet spot where the 4 realms of experience converge. Net, it's all about talking how can you ensure that consumers experience it personally and relate to it. Experience occurs when companies use a service as the stage and the goods as a prop, right? So for example, the customer walked into Raymond's made to measure. The goods were the products, the cloth and everything. But the service was the way they ensured that every bit of it was measured as per the satisfaction level. And then you get a product which is absolutely spot on as you asked for. That's exactly how you engage individual customers and create events and experience which is absolutely memorable. So this is all about engagement. So we started with experience. We are in experience economy now, and every organization is shifting towards being intentionally experiential or engagement. So talking about engagement, I'm sure you've seen the ads of Nike. Okay, so some of those print campaigns are in front of you. Live Strong was during the COVID times. The others would be absolutely inspirational, so that you can relate to it and say that, okay, I think this is a good ad. It actually makes me think and pause. Why can I not stop making excuses? Everything starts in your head. So this is exactly where the realm in which you engage with customers. And this is just a simple advertisement in the campaign. And this is not even a video ad. Now imagine the tagline of Coca-Cola, which says open happiness. I mean, as simple as that, open happiness. Are you talking about engaging with them with just 2 words? You could. The question is how. Let's talk about how we can go about doing it. So here, well, the most important part to understand is it has been established through a lot of research that the way to connect with this new generation. And when I talk about new generation, I'm not talking about just the Gen Zs and millennials. I'm talking about new generation post-COVID, where a lot of people have changed. A lot of people have started using digital means to shop, for search for information, are always digital to their smartphone. They have been very high spenders. I'm talking about this new generation. And you can do it by creating relationships which are based on experiences. Because as I told you before, experience is exactly what people remember for a long time. How you make them feel, right? And this is exactly one of the most important statements. The future of brand building lies in creating powerful brand experiences for the customers, and most importantly, nurturing that relationship based on honesty and trust through delightful experiences. Now, just hang on to those words, delightful experiences. Delightful experiences have the word delight, and customer delight is what we are aiming at. Every organization tries to do that, but it's become very challenging of late, where you don't have people coming out, not going out for the services to be staged. So how do you do that? And that's exactly the challenge or the dilemma a lot of organizations grapple with, but that's exactly the new normal. So customer loyalty is no longer based on price and product alone. It is wholly dependent on customer experience. So that is the premise on which I thought I would start the presentation and tell you this is the background, and then I'll tell you about what the future is into in terms of customer experience. Well, some research. Let's talk about what McKinsey is trying to say. McKinsey is trying to say that customers now are talking about, why should I stay with you as a brand? Why would I pay for your brand? So let's hear some nuggets of wisdom from what McKinsey is trying to say. Everybody's moving online. The flight to online is everybody's moved online, right? So, and millennium and high income earners are the lead when it comes to shopping online. So basically what I'm trying to say was what I said in the last slide. High income earners are spending more and more because now they feel safe, because they'll be valued, because there'll be customer service if anything goes wrong. So shopping online has become, we will come to those attributes of how shoppers have evolved. But this is what McKinsey says. Consumers are switching brands at unprecedented rates. People used to be loyal before, but now loyalty has come down. If you don't have a brand, if I ever go to Amazon today, if I see that a product is not available, I just move out of Amazon. I see Flipkart or somewhere else. So that's exactly what McKinsey is trying to say. Brands need to ensure strong availability and also convey value, not just availability alone. Consumers are surprised and delighted by new experiences. So even long-held beliefs can change. Like, for example, if you can say, that I don't take delivery of a car. If I buy a car, I would rather go to the showroom and buy it. But off late, there's a lot of orders happening online. Can you believe that? The proof in case being XUV 700 that got launched recently. So people are willing to let go of long-held beliefs, and they are willing to repeat that behavior because they see value in it. So right now, I'm sure 3 years back, 4 years back, sanitizer was a good thing to have, but now it's essential. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. Shape emerging habits with new products are happening. And that's what McKinsey was trying to say. Let's move on to understand a little bit more about what the shopper is changing and how it's evolving. So I told you about, if talk about when you're online, the website takes time to load, you move to the next website. I'm not going to stay here. So the question here, what McKinsey asked, why should I stay? Why would I pay? Is something that is seen very clearly here. If I don't have a stock, I'll move to the other stock because I'm sure the other store will surely have it. I am not wedded to a particular website or a platform. Second attribute of customers, we are hyper connected. We switch from browsing from a laptop to a smartphone in seconds. But the expectation is I want my browsing to be seamless. If I'm browsing on my laptop and searching something, I want the smartphone to pick it up from where I left in the laptop. So that talks about omni-channel customer experience. And I want my continuity. I will choose how I continue to browse. That's exactly co-creating customer journeys happen. So this is how you're hyper-connected. The most important part, in our face peer activity. What does this mean? Our span of attention in social media is very, very frivolous, fleeting. So that means that sharing in social media has become so easy. At the same time, my memory of what and how it happens in social media also is fleeting. So we are eager to share experiences which are amazing. At the same time, we are absolutely publicly vocal if we have bad one. So it cuts both ways. So people are sharing things in the social media more and more. So the ways to captivate demanding audiences has led organizations to focus on positive customer experiences. And that is not just to stay ahead, but to compete as well. Moving on. So again, progression. Let's see how the consumers have progressed, some assimilation. So they have consolidated purchase frequencies. If they were purchasing 4 times, now they're talking about purchasing only twice. But the average value per transaction has increased. People have started relying on online. Increase in brand switching behavior, and consumers create their journeys themselves. I cannot be fixed on saying that or forced to go from here to here. I can do whatever I want. That's my choice. And most importantly, smartphones have revolutionized the way customer journeys are created. So you have increasing acceptance of digital engagements in the customer journey. And a bottom line, the key to customer centricity is basically for organizations to put themselves in the mind of consumers. If you're able to do that, you're better placed to predict their actions, improve the customer experience, and keep them coming back. Isn't that what everyone wants to do? So let's hear about what KPMG is propagating. Some words of wisdom. What should they be doing? What should organizations be doing? Number one, know your customer. Customer has evolved. He has changed. And there are many, and they're still evolving. You cannot say that, okay, the customer that I defined yesterday is going to behave today in similar manner. You have to be agile. Know your customer. Second, so they think the cost of doing business. You know, to rethink that, okay, if this is where I used to earn money and I used to get this as a milking cow, you might want to think and start looking at way to do business differently. You need to look at how business models and partnerships are in a very, very different manner. And you need to demonstrate purpose. You would have heard about the fact that if you have a purpose in your selling, in your the way you speak and talk about your brand, people would buy from you. But you need to now just not just tell about it, you need to demonstrate that purpose. So that's all about purpose and demonstrating it. So what does it mean? It means home is the new hub. Stay at home economy is going to stay. I've seen a lot of leaders say that they're going to mandatorily ensure that couple of days of working from home because it increases productivity, and there is no compromise in the quality of meetings and the way you interact with your colleagues and customers. So this is going to stay. Number two, smartphone is going to be everywhere. So you just have to pick up your phone and say, okay, I'm shopping right now. And that can't be a planned way of doing purchase. It is everywhere. It is omnipresent. And the most important part, the bottom line, we have to reimagine customer experience. We still have to connect with these two factors above that is written out there. We still have to connect, engage, and drive loyalty. Let's look at how things should be. Customer engagement is driven by disciplined approaches to customer segmentation, consumer segmentation, and lead generation, and moving faster. So I'll just go through these four things very quickly because this is something that is absolutely fundamental to the entire presentation. Companies need to look at new sales channels. You can't be just saying that, okay, I'm a car manufacturing, I want people to come to the showroom. You have to look at other ways of doing. You have to eradicate the physical and digital divide. You have to look at the last mile challenges, and not just challenges, but enablers. And here, it's all about implementing technology to improve the customer experience. You can't be a laggard or you can't be following somebody. You need to be running this business like a digital leader. This is what Accenture says. It's a very heavy slide. I'll just tell you that, okay, they have made a very clear indicator saying that you need to get people to be in this pay and stay mode, where if you recalibrate and reimagine, then the companies will find it beneficial, because if you have to drive growth, company must reimagine. They need to look at new revenue streams, and that has to be looked at from the lens of experience. Recalibrate, stay relevant, retain customers. So this is what Accenture is talking about. It's a very heavy slide. I just talking about what people are reiterating and what research is talking about. Moving on. Yes. Some basic facts. Basis the research that everybody is talking about. So organizations have been able to transform customer insights into customer success process, and hence higher share of wallets. Deploying CX, customer service, customer experience initiatives and practices have become a differentiator and enabler for customer loyalty, retention, repeat purchase intention. I've highlighted those words which are really important. The future of brand building lies in creating personalized and engaged experiences, leading to sacrificial loyalty. Hang on to those words, personalized and sacrificial loyalty. I'll be coming back to it. I told you about hanging on to customer delight. I told you about hanging on to the gentleman called Tom Pine. And now I'm telling you to hang on to the words called personalized and sacrificial loyalty. I'll be coming back later. So CX is not just another marketing technique. It is the battleground of the future. And this is exactly where customer experience has become the theater of war. So let's move on. A couple of quotes. I absolutely love this, which says, best advertising you can have is a loyal customer spreading the word about how incredible your business is. And that's exactly bordering on what sacrificial loyalty is. Nobody has prompted that customer to go and talk about or word of mouth about your product. It's all about their intention to do it on their own. So let's talk about what sacrificial loyalty is. Sacrificial loyalty is, as it explained here, is the willingness of someone, a customer, an employee, a friend, to make an investment or personal sacrifice in order to strengthen a relationship. Usually, to strengthen a relationship, there's a lot of investment made by organizations. Imagine if you're able to get a customer who's sacrificial loyal. He's making the investment or personal sacrifice, and he's taking the step to ensure that it's strengthening a relationship. For a customer, that means sticking with the supplier who treats him well, gives him good value in long term, even if the supplier does not offer the best price in a particular transaction. So this is how sacrificial loyalty is explained. Let me give you an example. It's like brushing your teeth. Having good teeth is so much better than having one replaced. Having one replaced is so much painful and it is so inconvenient. So think about it as this. Retention is not only easier, but it is far more lucrative. So when you want to talk about building relationship, making investment to strengthen a relationship, retention is the mantra. And as I told you, brushing, retention is so much less painful and so much more efficient than having a tooth replaced. And that's, I suppose, drives home the point. How are organizations try to evolve? Since this is the background, how have organizations try to evolve? They have evolved by increasing digital interventions in the customer journey. So more and more digital interventions where people can find and search information on the digital platform much more easily than before. And not just giving information, but also increasing shoppability. Now, if you have a call to action at each and every point, which makes it easier for them to shop, then you will have much more people shopping. If you have a consistent omni-channel customer experience, like for example, I told you the example of moving from a laptop to a smartphone. And if that experience is consistent, then obviously that's exactly what goes about giving you a good customer experience. So that's what companies have evolved, organizations have evolved to. They've targeted customer communication strategies aimed at customer relationships and building loyalty, and are always adopting agile initiatives to capture real-time consumer insight. Let's find out how this can be done in the future. So the future is here. The future is very clear. And the future of customer experience is written in data. What does that mean? It means, so here I'm talking about the future. I've talked about how customers have evolved, how the experience economy is so much important for getting loyalty and engaged customers, if not sacrificial loyalty. And here I'm talking about what the future will look like. How CX or customer experience will evolve. And these are some of the pillars, to be specific, 8 of them, which are absolutely imperative for organizations to imbibe and adopt if they have to succeed in getting engaged and having good relationship and sacrificial loyal customers. So as I told you, customer experience in the future is going to be written by data. The more data we have, the better we are at predicting customer behavior. Yeah. As linking improvements in customer satisfaction increases the bottom line of the company. So how will it evolve? Number one, CX data management today is predominantly outsourced. So there might be people within the organization who head customer experience domains, but the actual work is outsourced. It's like advertising is outsourced. Tomorrow or in the near future, it is going to be absolutely in-house. CX data management will be in-house, which involves reporting the data from various channels, either e-commerce, and there'll be one centralized source of customer data, which everybody can tap into. So that's exactly what the future is. That's the future of customer experience and it's coming to. That's the first pillar. Second pillar is hyper-personalization. Now, you heard about personalization. What is hyper-personalization? So hyper-personalization is whenever I want to browse the net, I want the website to understand and to intuitively tell me whether they have my size and whether they know what my personal style is. And when these brands are able to do this seamlessly, there is very little incentive for customers to switch. So you're not punching in and explaining what your personal style is, what your size is, and this is where it is so much easier. So imagine if you go to a showroom and the salesman knows you, you feel familiar, right? You would love to go back over and over again. So that's exactly the personalized touch we're talking about, where no two customers are alike. You cannot replicate that same personalization to this other person because you have to understand that everybody is unique. But at the same time, how can you do that without invading my private space? I don't want a creepy salesman following me in my journey of shopping, saying that, how can I help you? Can I help you today? Are you in a good mood? Are you in a mood for this? I find it very intruding. I find it absolutely annoying. How can you do that? So that's a fine balance. And you need to be extremely intuitive to understand when you're intruding and when you're not. But at the same time, be hyper personalized. Number 3 pillar, customer experience is going to be part of company's DNA. Okay. So when you talk about the DNA, we talk about customer centricity as a pillar. It is customer experience is going to be the heart of everything the business does. Because if we don't do it, it will be apparent to customers. Customers can understand the why. Because as a customer, I don't want to be a statistic as one of those customers who comes and looks at your products. I want to be unique. I need that attention. I need to know that you are there for me. And that is something which is absolutely important because customers can understand that why. If you show genuine interest, they're less likely to go off to competition. And that's when you do that, when you have everybody in that organization working towards the customer. Customer is the hero. The sooner you are able to imbibe that within the organization, you will be able to reap the benefits. So let's talk about what Mr. Ray talks about, who's the Vice President of Customer Experience at Gartner. I'll just read out his quote, one of the very important quotes that I think. True customer experience means putting the customer at the center of your efforts and measuring impact not just by dollars and cents for your brand, but truly in terms of how the customer is benefited. So you're talking about putting the customer first and not your profits. So talking about people before profits, right? So this is exactly what he's talking about, how the customer is benefited. I continue. You can find so-called customer experience efforts everywhere nowadays, but actual customer-centric decision making is sadly hard to find. So what it's trying to say is genuine customer centricity is visible and can be seen in the efforts that everybody makes within the company when they interact. So that is important. Moving on to another pillar, artificial intelligence. I'm sure you would have interacted with a lot of chatbots whenever you've gone through a website, and those are happy little pop-ups which come up and try to engage with you and make your customer journey or buying experience that much more pleasurable. And this is going to be there in the future. If you're not doing it as a means of engagement, then you're missing out on engaging and being relevant to a customer. I'm sure you would have, I'm not sure many of you would have bought things in WhatsApp. WhatsApp has enabled something called Conversational Commerce, where I can just go to my WhatsApp and click on the options available, and I am there at a purchase decision by clicking 3 times. So this is intuitive. This is so easy, and it increases the shoppability in this. WhatsApp is something that I can do check 10 times in a day, and if I am able to shop through WhatsApp, wow, That's absolutely wonderful. So that's exactly what artificial intelligence is going to do. But the biggest game changer since invention probably of the wheel, the biggest game changer is going to be AI integrated CRM. I'm sure everybody's understood what and knows what customer relationship management is, how it started with evolution from just keeping historical trends and information about customers to much more. But what does AI integrated CRM mean, which is going to be the future cornerstone of customer experience? AI, artificial intelligence, can capture insights into customer decisions. And this happens. What if it happens real time? What if there is no lag time between how a customer is behaving and what customer decides to how you react as a company to be prepared for that? This is, guys, predictive analysis. And this is going to be the bedrock and the cornerstone for customer experience management and customer experience rollout in the future. So this is all about real-time decision making. Tomorrow you will have virtual sales agents. These are chatbots which are AI enabled for sure, which will be the first contact whenever you encounter a lead or encounter somebody searching for information and is almost like a prospect. And so the first interaction is going to be the virtual sales agent, which is chat AI enabled. And once as a prospect, you are qualified, it gets transferred to a human agent to be closed. Imagine the kind of predictive analysis required to do that. And that's exactly is intuitive, ever changing, evolving, and is going to be, as I said, the bedrock and cornerstone invention after the wheel probably. Moving on, augmented reality. So I'm sure most of you have used Lenskart application where you click your photograph and the photograph you can place different spectacles and see how it looks like. You expected to do it while going to your neighborhood spectacle shops. Now you can do it with the comfort of your home. So this is a combo of a real world and virtual environment. So is there a compromise in the way you look? Certainly not. You can click another photograph. It's absolutely real time and seamless. That's going to happen. So that's happening at your homes. Imagine going to a store and without trying or actually trying a cloth, you have a mirror which tells you how you look like. So it's a fully immersive experience. And this customer experience with combining of the real world and virtual environment will be the future in the coming days. Will be the bedrock. You'll see a lot of products being built on augmented reality. Well, my favorite, employee experience. We very well know that happy employees is equal to happy customers, and aligning employees to your business goals is so much important. It's a good to have a lot of involvement and engaged customers, employees. But the question is, what is the outcome of that? Do you have means of doing this, of aligning employees to your strategic business goals? And what is the use and how can you do it? I'll give you an example which I came across recently. And so the efforts must be made to incorporate employee wellness. And so we're talking about not just mental health, but overall holistic health, because this is important, because that shows that as an employee, I'm cared. So let me talk about an example. Just read this recent post. This is an HR head posting in LinkedIn. And let me tell you why I thought it relevant to give you as an example. And I found it absolutely intriguing and fascinating what they guys do. This is probably one of the very few companies in India who are also consistently ranked the best employer for many years. I will not give you the name, but the example number one, here they're talking about employee onboarding of 900 plus employees with an NPS of 90 plus. You know what NPS is? NPS is Net Promoter Score. It is a customer experience metric. You use it for finding out the voice of the customer. You find out whether your customer is able to recommend you, or what is the propensity of the customer to recommend you. How, and they are able to do it internally, and that too not for existing customers, for people getting onboarded. That's amazing. That's the kind of investment that this company has made in employee experience. Number two, chatbot. I just talked about AI and chatbot. So now they've implemented something called Sheldon, which is the first ever employee chatbot. Number three, they have introduced something called TYDY 2.0. This is an onboarding experience. Now, we do not forget the first days in any company that you work for. And this company realizes that and has got a wonderful onboarding experience and many more. So I've just given you a little bit about this to explain to you how employee experience is going to be the future of customer experience pillars to be built upon. Another quote, customer experience and employee experience are now two of the driving forces of business. They go hand in hand. They are most probably the, as you call it, the yin and the yang of the entire driving force of business. And that's been told very well. Let's move to another pillar, which is called the Omni-channel CX, probably the last pillar of the future of customer experience and how it should be built. So I told you about how your seamless customer journey moving from one platform to the other. But if you're able to blend in AR, augmented reality, virtual reality, businesses will overcome physical limitations and it will drive personal shopping. Now, the last time I went to a car showroom, I'll give an example. Last time I went to a car showroom, I had to wait. I had to give a number. I was given a token so that you will be attended upon by a salesman in 15 minutes time. And probably if you're lucky, in 3 hours time, you'll get a test drive. Imagine you are able to eliminate all this through an experience which is overcoming this physical limitation. I get a AR, VR, I plug in, I see the interiors, I go out at my own comfort of my home. I book a test drive which comes home. And that's exactly what omni-channel customer experience can do. Imagine the wow experience. Would it be a differentiating factor? And imagine there are 3 cars you're considering. One car company is able to do that. That's a differentiation that you're looking for. And probably you will buy that car for sure. So this allows the company and the organization to give a bird's eye view. Now, let me tell you why omni-channel experience is important. It is talking about a typical customer journey, which is not a linear, which is absolutely open-ended and unregulated. Hence, the omni-channel customer experience comes as important, because the goal here is to ensure a seamless co-created journey, which is enabling customers to become advocates. Now, hang on, who are advocates? Advocates are people who represent you, right? Somebody who knows you and represents the best of you in the court of law or somewhere. But here, you're talking about bordering on something that I told you to remember, sacrificial loyalty. So let's go a little bit deeper into what exactly it is. So the future, I just reiterate and sum up quickly the 8 points. Future of customer experience is written in data, talked about. Hyper personalization, but not at the cost of data privacy, not to be creepy and intruding. Customer experience has become a human experience. We talked about the employee experience, why employee experience goes a long way in delivering good customer experience. And customer experience is a two-way street. It's not only the organization is investing in the relationship, it's also the other way around. Customer journey management. So customer experience has a customer journey management. It is not about not about control, it's all about design. So previously people used to find out, okay, let me try to bombard information to the customer because this is where he is in the customer journey trying to go from X to Y. But tomorrow he might not go there. So it's not about control at all. It is talking about co-creation of that journey as and when the customer wants it. Customer experience is going to be the business of experience going forward. So here we're talking about automation, which has become passé. It is now predictive analysis, now prediction. If you are moving to predictive analysis, then you believe me, you're on the right path. So end the story. It's all about moving from customer satisfaction to customer delight. So let's find out what customer delight is. Customer delight, as told by Wikipedia, and which is the objective of each and every organization implementing and adopting customer experience and the future of customer experience, is customer delight is surprising a customer by exceeding the expectations and thus creating a positive emotional reaction. Coke's tagline, Coca-Cola's tagline of open happiness. Is it creating a positive emotional reaction? I'm sure yes. And this emotional reaction leads to word of mouth. And as I told you, word of mouth is one of the methods in which sacrificial loyalty is professed. So let me talk about customer delight. Let me talk about when was the last time we got delighted? Absolutely got delighted. Okay, I remember this because I am absolutely delighted. I talked about the person called Tom Pine, the person who wrote Mass Customization and Experience Economy. So I happened to message him some days back in LinkedIn because I read about him. I found his books absolutely fascinating as I was preparing for this. And I just messaged him on LinkedIn. Okay, never expecting anything in return. So this is what I got from him. So this was on Thursday. I get a message saying, pleasure to connect. And on top of that, he gives me two different things. He gives me an option of accessing his writings and a Harvard Business Review, which is as early as February 2022. And first of all, I thought it was a bot, something which comes automatically. Then I realized the last words. I think it fits well with your focus on being a curator. Because if you go to my LinkedIn profile, you will see the first words written very clearly. Curator of successful sales teams. He got that and he wrote me a personal message. Isn't that delight? So I was still skeptical. Okay, I messaged him back. I said, okay, Pine, Joe Pine, this is a fanboy moment for me. Absolute delight to be connected. I will be quoting you in one of the talks. God bless you. I'm not expecting a reply. Lo and behold, I got a reply saying, how gratifying to hear. Thank you. So what does it mean? I never expected this, right? I never expected it. It exceeded my expectations and it created a very positive emotional reaction. So what does it mean? I'm sold. I think Joe Pine is the best author that I can think of right now because he's connecting on a personal basis. And I will surely read all his books, buy all his books, and quote him till the cows come home. And that's exactly what I'll be doing. That's exactly what customer loyalty or sacrificial loyalty does to you because you have a delightful experience. So this is all about my presentation and the future. I will stop sharing and I will ask ma'am if there are any questions.
Yes, sir. It was indeed a very informative, valuable session, sir. Actually, when you were speaking much about the customer experience, the one example which hit my head was the Tata case, which we normally, Taj Hotel's case that we study. We have learned that Mr. Ratan Tata used to train his frontline employees, telling that you be a customer representative, you be a voice of the customer rather being the voice of my brand or nor my business. So that example just struck my head. I just thought of sharing it, sir. So now we can take up the questions posted via Q&A. Yeah, the first question by Etishri Agarwal. As we know, customers are related to market. So, what is the future of market, and how is going to help customers? This is question.
Future of market. Okay, so I read the statement somewhere. I'm not exactly remembering that the customer is digital. Okay, the customer is not going to imbibe being digital means or digital experiences. They are getting digital. So tomorrow, the market is going to be a place where everything is available in the touch of a smartphone. And that gives the information and the power to the customer, and that is going to be the market. So you will have a lot more intrusive and immersive information being pinged and bombarded to your smartphones in the future in the market.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for your answer. And the next one by Kaushik Sarkar. Isn't customer experience just another name for customer service?
Oh, that is don't believe that to your own folly, because customer service is so different from what customer experience is. Customer service is when you have a service failure and you go to a customer service department of a company or organization when you have a problem to be addressed, and those are exceptions. But customer experience is so much more holistic than that. As I told you in the starting of the presentation, it is the sum total of all interactions the customer has with the brand, directly or indirectly. And the biggest problem is we don't look at the indirect means, how we interact with the brand, how other people talk about the brand, what is Google talking about the brand that I'm trying to search. So those are indirect means. So customer experience is so much more, and it is a cumulative. As I told you, it's a sum total. Customer service is just one bit of the service delivery failure that you're trying to address.
Wonderfully answered, sir. So the next question is by Mr. Gurumurthy B. Hello, sir. How can we retain our customers in the internet world? We are not facing them sometimes, so we are not able to understand what they want. They are mostly chat with bot and other chat boxes.
Yeah, so you are absolutely correct. In fact, the humanization of brands is something that everybody wants. The customer's inherent demand is to have human interaction and not with some artificial intelligence chatbot. But at the same time, if you're able to get adequate means of personalization, where you're addressing the person as and when, and not just writing a mail saying that, dear esteemed customer, you're writing the name, and you're addressing them as unique as they are. And you're able to do that in the digital world. There are a lot of means of doing that by imbibing artificial intelligence. And so right now, the chatbots that you face are very basic. They are a step up, no doubt, but they will have a long way to come. So you're absolutely correct when it comes to retaining customers. You can't do it when people are expecting face-to-face interaction. So I face a lot of these problems where a Zoom call doesn't actually hold water. They still expect me to come and face-to-face. They want to see. I don't know reasons why, but that's exactly inherently the need. And that you cannot do away with. If the customer wants, you have to do it. So that's exactly what I'm trying to say, that the human experience and the human angle cannot be eliminated by whatever means. But to certain means, you can do it.
You have very clearly explained us, sir. Thank you, sir. So the next question is by Vishnu Priya OS. So her question is, sir, could you please offer some future possibilities of research in customer experience?
The future possibilities, as I told you, those 8 pillars, and those 8 pillars are going to be the mainstay of the customer experience in the coming days. If organizations have to succeed in not just retaining, but having good relationships and ensuring sacrificial loyal customers, they have to imbibe not just 1, but 8 of these. And these are potential research. Now, talking about predictive analysis, it's a good word to understand, but actually implementing it in organization is a Herculean task that requires so much integration and data. So that's research. That's going to be research. You cannot say that, okay, I am already there, because it's a very evolving field. It's because consumers also are highly evolved and they're changing per day. So you need to be step up and be ahead of the curve. So research is going to be there with these 8 pillars, and they're going to increase day by day.
A great insight, sir. So the next question is by M. Manida M. What are the agricultural business marketing used for AI technology?
Agriculture business techniques used in AI technologies, is it? Yeah, I am. Okay, so I can remember the budget recently where they're talking about using of drones to capture information about crop quality, about weather, about other stuff, and these will obviously be used by AI to predict as to say the right time or the kind of quality and the output that can be increased. All those technologies are already in place. They're getting implemented in India of late. Drones, yes, a lot of agriculture tech startups have come up, and they have come up in the biggest field, which is how to increase the crop yield, because that's where India is lagging behind. If you're able to get more bang for your buck, that's one. Second is, in agriculture, the biggest problem is the logistics, because storage and logistics are something which has a lot of wastage of our products, and there's a lot of startups working on there. So that's the use of technology. I think these two are the biggest usage of AI which can be done to yield much better agriculture input.
Yes, sir. Thanks for the answer, sir. And the next question is by Piyush Golia. His question is, research in digital marketing can help the customer experience and AI in future. Can the research in digital marketing will help the customer experience and AI in the future?
Absolutely, absolutely. I fully agree there. There's goes without saying that digital marketing means are going to be the mainstay and the executional tools for everything customer experience related. So digital marketing is evolving and it has to be imbibed. It cannot be in silos. They work together and they work hand in hand very, very clearly. And they're not even two sides of the same coin. That's a very different analogy. I think they're the same, and we will have to work together to do that very, very clearly. Digital marketing is going to evolve very, very clearly, and there's going to be use of a lot of predictive analysis, technology, a lot of AR and VR. So a lot of experiential marketing technology is going to be used, and their data is going to be of absolute importance, because data will be used to feed everything and going to evolve, and be the, we can say, the pillar in which the entire customer experience house will be built. I think digital marketing is going to change by its head.
Thanks for the question, sir. So I think there are a lot of questions lined up. I request the participants to share your questions to info@gibs.edu.in, where we can get the answers from sir, and we will be really happy to share that with you people. So thank you so much for the wonderful session, sir. In fact, it was very informative and beneficial. We were actually experiencing all this, but we were not able to realize them. After your session, I could feel it very much connected, and also I think from now on we'll start using all the jargons what you have told us as well. So thank you, sir. Thank you for the extremely informative session. So
thank you. Pleasure is absolutely mine.
Yes, so gratitude is the healthiest of all human emotions. The more you express gratitude for what you have, the more likely you will be even more to express gratitude for. I, Saumya M, on behalf of GIBS Business School and the entire GIBS fraternity, extend my most sincere thanks to JP Sahu sir Thank you for enlightening us about the future of CX, the customer experience. Thank you for all the useful tips and information, sir. I'm sure that this session will surely help all the audience to understand more about customer experience. I extend my sincere thanks to all our associates, beloved students, and the education fraternity for making today's event a resounding success. GIBS always believe in seeing is believing. I bet that you will love to see the state-of-art corporate infrastructure. You also love meeting the team of innovative minds at GIBS who believes in spreading the power of positivity. Looking forward to meet you all in person at our campus. Thanks, one and all. GIBS is known for knowledge sharing and its hospitality. Experience it by visiting our campus. And one more important announcement that I have, GIBS cordially invites you to attend the virtual corporate summit, the Management Development Program 2K22 on Industry 4.0 and Digital Technology Management for Business Excellence on February 19th, 2022 at 2 p.m. You can watch the video of all the previous webinars in YouTube. The e-certificate of this webinar will be sent to your registered email ID by 5th February, that's by tomorrow. Kindly follow us on all social media platforms, LinkedIn, Twitter, Telegram, Instagram, Facebook. Be with us always. Have a great evening. Stay healthy and stay safe. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you.